is, I feel like everyone that I've asked so far, are you doing it next year, has been like, yep.
Oh, I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Oh, I would do it in a heartbeat too.
Yeah, me too.
Would you?
You better.
I don't know. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Perks in Paving. I am Vinnie Candelore, and I'm here with the one and only Paige and Mark Perkins. Well, I guess the two and only. How would you introduce two people? The dynamic duo.
There you go.
The perks, the real perks of the Pavement Group. Mark and Paige, how are you guys doing today?
Good.
Thanks
How
for
are
having us again.
you?
Of course, this is your show. Thanks for.
We're glad you could join us again.
Perfect. Yeah, so we have an exciting episode. First of all, let's just address the fact that this show people love this.
Yeah.
Like,
Thanks, guys.
seriously, like, you guys are superstars, like in real life, but also on camera. Like, your personality's great. So thank you for being willing to do this. Like, this is fun for me too. So hopefully this thing keeps growing.
Yeah.
And we keep having some great, conversations, great guests, which we do have a guest today. The one, and now I can say the one and only Joyce. What is your last name? Williams. Is it? Is it Williams?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that was your maiden last
You
name.
learned a lot from me about me over the past week.
Listen, I learned a lot this week, and last names were not on the top of my list.
Yes, it's Williams.
I apologize.
That's okay.
Maybe you guys could introduce the guest from now on, since I'm like butchering it.
I have a lot to say about Joyce.
Yeah.
We're neighbors too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like in real life neighbors.
Neighbors,
Yeah.
and she was my roommate while we were gone at the Grand Canyon.
So
Best roommate ever.
that kind of brings us to where, why it made sense to have Joyce on this episode. Like, if everybody's been watching our content, if you watched the last episode, we talked about our trip coming up for the Grand Canyon, and everybody kind of went on that trip not sure what to expect. One of the cool dynamics that came out of that was that we were all assigned like a roommate to kind of go through this with. Joyce was your roommate. And so I figured if there's any show for you guys to share your experience at the canyon, it would be this one, because you guys got a unique look at it through each other's, eyes.
Yeah.
So let's start here with this. We'll start with Paige. What would you say is your biggest takeaway or biggest lesson learned? We're going to start with the big picture here from the entire weekend in the Grand Canyon.
There's quite a few, but the biggest thing that I took away was our bodies are capable of doing so many amazing things and like really tough things. And I think it's not often that we put ourselves in the opportunities to like go outside of our comfort zones and challenge ourselves. So I think the fact that 10 of us, or 11 of us?
9 or 10, I think.
10.
Maybe
all
including
decided to
Marcus.
do that together. I mean, I thought that was absolutely incredible. And then throughout the hike, I just kept on thinking, like just one step in front of the other, one step in front of the other. And I feel like I might have even mentioned that to you, like we just have to keep going, like one more step. And it's kind of like a metaphor of life. I mean, like when we were at the bottom, we saw ages before we got to the top. It was so hot. There were so many, we were hungry. We had to go to the bathroom. When were we going to be done? There were so many things that we were thinking about and obstacles. But at the end of the day, it was just one step in front of the other. And I feel like if you take on life in that way, and that's exactly what we all did to finish. And, as a team, we accomplished a great goal. And, whether it's here or at home or any other aspect of life, I think it's just put one step in front of the other and you'll be able to tackle any canyon in life. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mark, how was it being at home and not being able, because there's no reception in the canyon. Were you nervous? What
Not
were
at
you
all.
feeling?
Not at all. Being at home alone with the dog was a very quiet weekend, so we got some stuff done. But when she sets her mind to something, you will not stop her. So when she committed to training and to going on the hike, the thing that concerned me the most was the record temperatures. I thought would be there for the entire duration of your hike. That's what made me the most nervous. But once I found I was mostly at the bottom, I wasn't really worried at all.
14 miles of it,
Yeah.
Just kidding. 9
But it didn't
miles.
seem that hot.
No.
It was hotter in Phoenix the next day than
Yeah.
it felt like in the box.
100%.
In the
But
canyon.
I think it's because Kristen, I mean, maybe, I don't know, but I think Kristen set us up for, making sure every time we pass water to dunk ourselves.
Right.
We were just bathing in water the whole time.
Yeah.
And
So Kristen, as you're referencing, was our tour guide
Yes.
through the Grand
Amazing
Canyon.
tour
She,
guide.
K2, their whole team was amazing.
Yeah.
Caleb and Sarah were awesome. So shout out to them. If you guys are ever if you're hikers out there, you like to explore, you've thought about, because for me, when I initially agreed to this, the concept was we're gonna go hike the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
In my mind, as a non-hiker, that just means we're gonna walk as far as we want to walk, and then we're gonna turn around and we're gonna go home.
Yeah. And that's what Lindy thought you were doing too, right?
So Joyce, what was your biggest takeaway from the weekend?
I would have to say probably teamwork. One of the gentlemen on our team, Tony, he didn't venture off. He was between the first group and the second group. And to think that man did 10 miles on his own blew my mind. In our group of 9, the rotation of the line constantly changed. So sometimes you were in front, sometimes you were in back, but those people that were there to kind of push you on or talk you through it, and words of encouragement, or I need a piece of fruit, who has one left. I think it was the teamwork that got me through it.
Ah.
I mean, I can, like Paige said, I remember my husband's a huge Goggins fan, and in one of the audibles he listened to, his phrase was "one more step." I can't tell you how many times in that last mile and a half I said one more step, one more step, because it was grueling towards the end.
Yeah.
And it was for me.
Yeah.
Physically,
doubt.
I knew I could do it, but mentally, I was done.
Yeah.
I think the office in general felt the most confident in you.
Oh, yeah.
Or like
for sure.
that.
That's what she was like. Oh, I'm so glad I finished. I'm like, I knew you were going to finish. I knew you were going to demolish it. And she's like, thanks, so humble, but we knew you were going to.
Well, I only work part-time, so I had the time to dedicate to the training, and I had a friend that did rim to rim to rim.
Oh wow.
So
Nah.
I think it was the bleacher training that helped me for the muscle soreness. Everyone was walking the next day like they got off a horse, and I wasn't sore, but I started with, 20 sets of bleachers and finished with 75.
Wow.
So
That's a lot.
yeah, it was a lot, but I was determined to be that first group out.
Yeah.
That was
and
my
you
goal.
did it.
Yeah.
That was amazing. You guys, I don't know how you kept pace for that. I mean, like you said, testament to Kristen being able to prep you guys, but at the same time, the people that finished in the first group were the people who really trained for this and were prepared. I went in cold and I finished cold.
But and that's the thing, that it doesn't matter that
You still finished.
You finished, and that it doesn't matter if you finished in 12 hours or 20 hours. It truly doesn't matter. It's still a huge
Yeah, but I didn't get a
accomplishment.
beer at the end, so
It's
kind of did
all
matter
right.
because
you got
I
pizza. You got a whole pizza to yourself, right?
I was so tired though I couldn't even eat it.
Oh.
I was legit trying to force this pizza down, but I was like, I can't.
Well, that's actually funny that you say that, because when we finished, remember, we were
But
in a split.
giddy. We were so giddy.
Oh
we
my
couldn't
gosh.
wait for you
Really?
guys to get back.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to bed. Eli, we got a picture of him flat out on the bed. Paige and I are like, we're going to wait up. So we
Yeah.
sat out on the bench together like two little old ladies.
Yeah.
And we
No, one of my
waited for you
favorite
guys.
moments was getting off the van and you guys being there yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, that's one
it
of
was
mine
awesome.
too.
Mine too.
That was just so amazing. I was so proud of you guys, and not that I had any doubt that you guys were gonna finish, but I was just so glad, because I would have loved to have been there to cheer for you when you were coming out,
Like we
how
did for Tony.
I mean, that was amazing, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys. I mean, Tony could hear us from 3 miles in or something. I mean, I know at one point Dave had said something and everything was echoing, so
Yeah.
he could hear
He
stuff.
said
from,
something.
Yeah, he said something. I don't think they were words of encouragement at that point, but from the
Bastard.
end, I spotted him from, I don't know, at least probably a mile
Well,
out.
yeah, because we were
He
looking
still
for
had
him, and
the
he was
zig
like,
and the
there
zag.
he is,
remember?
and I screamed, Tony, and slowly he went.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
We were like, oh my gosh,
So-
it
And I
is
think you
him.
guys would have loved that, but I'm glad that we still
For
got
me,
to be at
that
the
would
end.
have been very helpful.
Yeah.
But at night, when you're looking up that mountain and
Oh.
all you see are lights way higher than you.
Listen,
it's
during the day,
oh
it felt the same way.
My
You're
God.
probably like, are those stars? Are those people?
I
with
legit
lights?
a couple times had to actually stop and be like, please be a star. And then I would see it moving through the trees and I'm like,
A shooting star. I'm just kidding.
that was, I don't even know what that was. But question I do have for both of you guys, and I guess, I guess this would be specifically for you guys. do you think this trip would have been different if you weren't there for you, and if you weren't there for you? Like,
Should I go?
Well,
Go ahead.
It doesn't matter. You want it? I mean, I think it was great from the start because, I mean, I know Joyce, she was wanting another female to go. So, I mean, that, and I would have felt the same way. So, I mean, we bonded off of that. I mean, we were the only 2 girls that went. And from there, like, we didn't train, like, every time we went to train together, but we got the opportunity to train a good bit together. And we started bonding even before we left. And obviously we had a good relationship prior to, I mean, we all get along so great in the office, but that was like more one-on-one time for us to like learn about each other's families and, you know, our pets and, you know, what we'd like to do for fun. And, you know,
tell
so
secrets about Mark.
Yeah, of course. So I loved that. And, you know, like she said, we were laughing so hard the night after when we were waiting for you guys to be done. So just some great memories. And it was a great teammate to have along the way. So.
Yeah, and it's funny. Just this morning, I thought to myself, looking back, I would do it without another female.
You
But-
didn't need me?
I know that. I'm not saying I didn't need you, but our group was such a team.
You're saying it wouldn't matter
No,
because you
I
trust
totally
everybody. in the group.
110%
But,
agree.
you know, I've only been here since February
Yeah.
and don't know everyone very well.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh, I'd like to have her, you know, just to have, I mean, especially, and I will say, the last night I was there, I was the only girl left. And I went back to the room and I was like, oh, there's no one to talk to.
Oh, that's true because you,
know, and
flew out early.
She flew out early. But the actual hike itself, I would do even if there wasn't another girl going.
For sure. For
yeah,
sure.
but I loved having her. I mean, we
Yeah.
bounced off each other all day
You
long.
guys seemed like you had a great time.
We did.
Mark, you doing it next year? What do you think?
I would absolutely love to do it next year.
You would?
Yes.
All right, we got to get things cooking here.
I feel like everyone is, I feel like everyone that I've asked so far, are you doing it next year, has been like, yep.
Oh, I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Oh, I would do it in a heartbeat too.
Yeah, me too.
Would you?
You better.
I don't know. I don't know.
Wasn't it such a good feel? Like, I feel like the only other time I've felt something similar was when I finished the half marathons that I ran. It's like such a sense of accomplishment when you're done that, like, you know, the time while you're doing it, you're like, okay, you know, it seems long, it seems hard. But when you're done, you're just like, wow, I did that. Like,
Yeah.
I accomplished that. And that's kind of what makes you, that's why I did the second half marathon. So,
I did this all out of peer pressure. So, like,
but aren't you glad we
I
peer
am glad.
pressured
Okay,
you?
let me rephrase. I'm glad, and this is, we talked about this on the last episode. Like the cause really was
Oh,
what
for
started it.
Right.
You know, being able to raise money. I think we're over $15,000
Nice.
for veterans and first responders in our area. So the cause was what drew me in. The camaraderie is what kept me in. And the peer pressure is what locked me in. So, like, they all played a role in me doing this. So, next time I won't feel the peer pressure because it's like, I already did it.
Yeah.
So, it's like, the only thing that's going to draw me back is, like, the camaraderie and, like, the meaning. So, I'd say there's probably a 66% chance that I'll do it again.
Well, I feel like, I mean, for you being at home, did you feel like you were kind of like out of the loop and like, not, I feel like you probably wish that you were there. I mean, we're texting, we're sending cool photos, we're doing fun things, hard things, but fun. And like, I feel like everyone here was probably like, wow, like, I wish I would have signed up, you know?
Right.
Everyone in the office, we have a pretty cool collective group of people. So whether it's a 25-mile hike or going out for drinks or dinner,
Right.
like, it's going to be a fun time
Yeah.
with whatever activity we're doing with whoever's in
No
there.
doubt.
So
Yeah, some of my, I think I would have more jealousy over like knowing you guys are going to another, you know, going to Arizona again, and like some of the most fun times I had were the night before, and like just when we went out to eat and like rode the
Rode
scooters
scooters.
around, and like that was so much
That was
fun.
so much
You know, I just love being in a new city and like seeing new things.
And the bus ride. I mean, the bus ride.
Oh, yeah.
The one picture we sent Jackie, I felt like said it all with the bus and the crew. Like,
Oh yeah.
it was just, everyone was smiling and thumbs up and just a collective great group of people.
No doubt about it. Any final words on Grand Canyon or, you know, before we sign off and close the book on this Grand Canyon chapter?
I think if you're thinking about doing it, do it. I know I talked to a couple people on the way back home that were completely unrelated to TPG, and kind of told them a little bit about why we were doing it and, you know, what it entailed and, you know, what we went through while we thought was hard and, you know, took a long time and was so hot and, you know, it's nothing compared to what veterans and, you know, active military are going through and first responders. So definitely gave us some perspective and definitely is something I'm very proud of, and I'm sure you guys feel the same. But those two people that I spoke with were like, wow, you've inspired me. Like, I'm going to do it. And those were people who lived in Phoenix their entire life.
Wow.
So, and they had never been to the Grand Canyon, or if they did, they didn't hike it. So
Yeah.
I think, you know, like I said earlier, put yourself out of your comfort zone, you know, do something that you never thought you could. And
Yeah. No doubt. How about you?
I think the fear of the unknown of what you were getting into was the scariest
Yeah.
part. Like driving on the bus that morning, I'm like, are you okay? And you're like,
No.
I am.
I sat there like this on the bus.
Head against the chair
Yeah.
in front of him.
And it, yeah, I was gonna say it actually
It
was exactly like that. There was that blue light. I took a picture of him, and I was like, "Oh man, he looks like he's in a rough spot over there."
was going through it.
Yeah, but yeah, the blue light was shining on him and looked exactly like that.
Thank you for capturing my worst moment of the weekend.
I knew it
I'm
was
glad
gonna
you
get
were-
better from there. That was gonna be the
It
worst
didn't
spot.
though. It got much worse before it got better.
Yeah, but I think the fear of the unknown was the worst. But what K2 and Aurelius does for the veterans is outstanding.
Without a
And
doubt.
I had a wild connection when we got there. Little shout out to Kevin Sharilla, is from Hampton, went to Hampton High School.
Yeah.
And one of the girls who I know said, you're going on this hike. She said, we're thinking about doing it. Give me details when we get back. When I got back, I messaged her and I said, do you know Kevin Sharilla? She goes, oh my gosh, we went to high school together.
Oh,
So
cool.
that's a kind of cool connection and
Yeah.
a shout. Like, if people are thinking about it, don't wait.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. I mean, if I didn't do this, I mean, there was actually a moment in the hike where I sat down, and it wasn't because I was tired. It was because I was so overwhelmed by what I was looking at.
Yeah.
And Marcus was like, you good? Because we had literally just stopped to fill up water, and it was when we were kind of working our way up towards the corkscrew. And there was just like some moment that like kind of just took my breath away, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I was like overwhelmed by it, and I sat down, and he's like, you good? And I was like, dude, I honestly, like, there's so many things in my life where it's like, you do something and you're like, all right, this is kind of what I do now. I'll be back. And next time I do, like, you just never know if you'll see something like that again. Like, you never know. Like,
Right.
you know, so there were a couple moments there where I just like had to take a step back and be like, wow, like I'm in the Grand Canyon right now. Like, this is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So that is what would pull me in to do it again, along with, you know, the cause behind it and the camaraderie and all that. All in all, like, just being there with you guys, it was definitely really great. And it makes working here so much more fun now,
Oh, for
because
sure.
you know, you get people.
You know my last name now.
I know your last
Yeah.
name now. Well, I know your Instagram was Joyce Williams, but like for some reason when I
Just
tried to tag
kidding.
you, you were like something about your maiden
My
name.
maiden name was in there. That's my middle name. I
So
kept that. Yeah.
I heard that in my head.
Yeah.
And then when I looked at it and said Joyce Williams, I was like, oh, maybe that's our maiden name. So,
It's okay, Vinnie.
anyways.
Learn something.
Hey, what do you guys think about making this like an actual thing? Can we
thought we
make
already
this
did.
like Facebook official and say that we're going to do this every week?
I thought we already did.
I mean, we didn't officially look in the camera and say, we're coming to you live.
We're
with the
coming to
perks
you
of
live
paving."
weekly.
Let's go, baby. This is awesome. I'm so excited. We'll figure out when the next episode is. We can have some more guests on. We can
Okay.
figure it out. You guys let me know what this show looks like, and we'll make it happen. You guys let us know what you want to see. Leave a comment. Leave a little bit of encouragement for Paige and Joyce Williams and Mark for next year when he's training. And we'll be back weekly with the Perks and Paving. I'm Vinnie.
I'm Paige.
I'm Mark. We'll see you guys next week.
I didn't
And
know
thank
if Joyce.
you, Joyce, for joining
Yeah.
us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
I was like, wait a minute. I started something here. We didn't talk this through. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.